December 21st, 1939, 6:47 a.m. Kola River sector, eastern Finland. Temperature minus 40 degrees Celsius. Cold enough to freeze diesel fuel solid. Cold enough to shatter steel. Cold enough to kill and expose man in 11 minutes. Simo Häyhä has been lying motionless in the snowbank for 3 hours and 14 minutes. He can no longer feel his toes. His fingers are numb inside his mittens, but his trigger finger still works. That's all that matters. The snow around him is packed so tight it creaks when temperature changes. He can smell pine resin frozen in the bark, the metallic scent of his Mosin-Nagant M2830, his own sweat frozen into his wool uniform. 800 yards downslope, Soviet Lieutenant Dmitry Volkov leads 47 men through the forest. Volkov is 28 years old, veteran of Poland, 6 confirmed kills, promoted twice for bravery. In 90 seconds, his brains will be frozen into the snow, and he will never see the man who killed him. The Soviet platoon advances in textbook formation, skirmish line. 5-meter spacing, rifles at the ready. They're hunting the Finnish sniper who killed 23 men yesterday, 31 the day before that, 19 the day before that. 73 Soviet soldiers dead in 18 days, all killed by one farmer they can't find. The Red Army has assigned an entire company to hunt him, 140 men, dedicated solely to finding and killing Simo Häyhä. They've tried counter-snipers, brought in 6 trained marksmen with scoped rifles. Häyhä killed 4 of them in the first week. The other 2 requested transfer. They've tried artillery, fired 2,000 shells at suspected positions. Häyhä just moved. They've tried night raids, sent 80 men to sweep the area in darkness. Häyhä killed 7 of them silently with a knife. Now they're trying overwhelming numbers, saturation patrols, hoping to flush him out by sheer presence. It won't work, because Häyhä isn't hiding, he's hunting. At 600 yards, Häyhä's breathing slows to 1 breath every 90 seconds. His heart rate drops to 40 beats per minute. Trained response from 13 years hunting elk. Stillness is survival, movement is death. His body temperature has dropped to 35.2 Celsius, borderline hypothermic, but his hands are steady. At 400 yards, Lieutenant Volkov stops the patrol. He raises his binoculars. German-made Zeiss optics. Scans the tree line methodically, left to right, looking for disturbed snow, broken branches, muzzle flash residue, anything. He sees nothing. Because Häyhä learned something hunting elk in these same forests. The animal never sees you if you don't move, never hears you if you don't rush, never smells you if you stay downwind. Patience kills more game than speed ever will. Häyhä is 40 yards to Volkov's left, in a position the Soviets already checked this morning, already cleared, already marked safe on their maps. The perfect hiding spot is the place they already looked. At 200 yards, the patrol resumes advance. Private Alexei Kuznetsov walks point. 19 years old, conscripted from a farm outside Moscow. 3 months of training, 0 combat experience. He's talking to the soldier beside him. Something about his mother, about home, about surviving long enough to see spring. Häyhä's breathing stops completely. His finger touches the trigger, feeling the 3.2 pounds of resistance. Not squeezing yet, just contact, waiting for the moment between heartbeats, when his body is perfectly still. Kuznetsov laughs at something. The sound carries in the cold air. Young, alive, unaware. Häyhä exhales 1/3 of his lung capacity at the bottom of that partial breath, when his chest stops moving, when his pulse pauses between beats. He squeezes. The trigger breaks clean. The firing pin strikes the primer. Chemistry becomes violence. The powder charge ignites at 3,000 degrees. 32,000 psi of pressure drives the 150-grain bullet down the barrel. It exits at 2,600 feet per second, spinning at 2,800 revolutions per second from the rifling. Flight time, 0.4 seconds. Kuznetsov is still smiling when the bullet arrives. It enters 2 centimeters above his left eye. The copper jacket fragments on impact with skull bone. The lead core continues through, creating a pressure wave that liquefies brain tissue. His frontal lobe turns to liquid mush in 0.003 seconds. The bullet exits the back of his skull, taking a fist-sized chunk of bone and brain with it. Gray matter sprays across the soldier behind him, sticky, warm, steaming in the -40-degree air. Kuznetsov's legs keep walking for 2 more steps, neural signals that haven't realized the brain is gone. Then he collapses face first into the snow. His rifle clatters on frozen ground. One arm twitches, nerves firing randomly. Then stillness. Elapsed time 1.3 seconds. Häyhä has already cycled the bolt. The spent brass ejects in a smooth arc, tumbles through the air, lands in snow 30 centimeters right. Fresh round chambered, bolt locked, second target acquired. The soldier who just got painted with his friend's brains, Private Yuri Novikov, 22 years old, married, wife 7 months pregnant. He's staring at the brain matter on his hands, not understanding, not processing. His mouth opens to scream. Häyhä fires. The bullet enters Novikov's open mouth, travels through his soft palate, severs his spinal cord at C2 vertebra, exits through the back of his neck, taking his cervical spine with it. Novikov's scream dies before it starts. He drops like a switched-off machine, dead before hitting ground. His unborn child will never meet him. The patrol still hasn't reacted, because sound behaves strangely at -40 Celsius. The air is so cold it dampens acoustics. The crack of Häyhä's rifle sounds like a distant branch snapping. They've heard nothing unusual, just seen 2 men fall, don't understand why. Häyhä's third shot catches Corporal Mikhail Petrov's center mass. The bullet enters between the 4th and 5th ribs, right side, tumbles through his lung. The temporary wound cavity is 12 centimeters wide. Rib fragments become shrapnel. One fragment punctures his heart. Another severs his pulmonary artery. Petrov's chest cavity fills with blood in 8 seconds. He drowns internally, gurgling, choking, trying to breathe through blood-filled lungs. His hands claw at his chest, ripping at his uniform, trying to find the wound he can't reach. He dies on his knees, face down in the snow, blood pooling around him, melting the ice in a crimson circle. Now they understand. Someone screams, "Sniper!" The word every soldier fears. The invisible killer. The death you never see coming. The platoon drops, hits the frozen earth hard. Return fire erupts, muzzle flashes, lighting up the forest. PPSH submachine guns on full auto, 72 rounds per minute. Mosin-Nagant rifles cracking, DP-28 machine guns hammering. 2,000 rounds fired in the next 30 seconds. All at nothing. Random spraying. Panic fire. Desperation. Because they're shooting at ghosts, at shadows, at the tree line 40 yards to their right, where they think the sniper must be. But Häyhä is 40 yards to their left, in a position they searched this morning, a position marked clear on their map. The perfect height is the place they already checked. Lieutenant Volkov is trying to restore order, screaming commands. "Cease fire! Conserve ammunition! Locate the sniper!" He's standing, the only man not prone, trying to be the leader, trying to organize the chaos. It's brave, it's disciplined, it's the last mistake he'll ever make. Häyhä centers the iron sights on Volkov's head. Range 180 meters. Wind negligible. Temperature correction 2 centimeters high. He fires. The bullet enters Volkov's right temple, travels through both hemispheres, exits his left temple. The lieutenant's head snaps sideways violently. His jaw dislocates from the impact, teeth shatter, tongue bisected, brain matter sprays horizontally, coating 2 soldiers prone beside him. Volkov's body convulses once, a full body spasm, then collapses like a puppet with severed strings. His binoculars shatter when he hits the ground. German Zeiss optics reduce to fragments. The platoon breaks, discipline evaporates. Training forgotten, just primal terror. They run, crashing through underbrush, stumbling over frozen logs, abandoning weapons, abandoning wounded, abandoning everything except the need to live. Häyhä kills 3 more as they flee. Shot 1 through the spine. Severs the spinal cord at T7. The man goes down instantly, paralyzed from the chest down. Still alive. Still conscious, can't move, can't feel his legs, lies in the snow, staring at the sky. He will freeze to death in 47 minutes, fully aware, unable to move, waiting for death. Shot 2 through the kidney. The bullet enters his lower back, destroys his right kidney, perforates his intestines in 4 places. The man screams. A high, piercing wail, pure agony. He runs 30 more meters, adrenaline overriding the damage, then collapses, curls into fetal position, bleeding internally, intestinal contents leaking into his abdominal cavity. Septic shock will kill him in 6 hours, but hypothermia will get him first. Shot 3, pelvis. The bullet shatters his right hip socket, fragments the femur head, severs his femoral artery. The man goes down hard. One leg bent at an impossible angle. Blood jets from the artery. 68 beats per minute. Each heartbeat pumps 80 milliliters of blood into the snow. He bleeds out in 90 seconds, staining the white ground red, an expanding crimson pool, still steaming, still warm, then frozen solid. 7 Soviet soldiers dead. 90 seconds of combat. 7 men who woke up this morning, ate breakfast, wrote letters home, thought about their families, about surviving the war, about seeing spring, now dead in a Finnish forest, killed by a 5'3" farmer they never saw, never heard, never had a chance against. The survivors will report back to command. They will describe the invisible killer, the ghost in the snow, the death that comes without warning. They will call him Belaya Smrt, the White Death, and tonight 4,000 Soviet soldiers will know the name, will fear the name, will refuse to advance into sectors where the White Death hunts. Because this is December the 21st, 1939, day 18 of the Winter War, and Simo Häyhä is just getting started. Simo Häyhä was not born a killer. He was born on a farm. December 17, 1905, Rautjärvi municipality, southern Karelia, 20 kilometers from the Russian border. His family owned 250 acres of marginal land. Rocky soil, short growing season, hard winters that killed livestock and crops. The kind of land that breaks weak men. Häyhä was the second youngest of 8 children, small for his age, quiet, unremarkable. He left school at 14 to work the farm full-time, plowing behind draft horses, harvesting by hand, milking cows at 4 a.m. in minus 30-degree cold. The work that built calluses and strength that came from desperation, not gyms, but Finnish farmers hunted, had to. The forest provided protein when crops failed, elk, moose, bear, dangerous game that could kill you if you wounded instead of killed. You didn't get second chances. One shot had to count, or you starved, or the bear killed you. Häyhä started hunting at age 8 using his father's rifle, an ancient Mosin-Nagant from the Russian Imperial Army. The rifle was taller than he was. The recoil knocked him down the first 12 times he fired it, but he learned, because hungry children learn fast. By age 12, Häyhä never missed shots on game within 150 meters. Not because he was talented, because he practiced every day after farm work, before bed, in all weather, 500 rounds per year, when a single round cost 2 Finnish marks, when his family earned 400 marks per year. His father thought he was insane, wasting money on ammunition when they could barely afford bread. But Häyhä understood the economics. 1 bullet cost 2 marks. 1 elk provided 200 kilograms of meat, worth 80 marks at market. That's a 40-to-1 return on investment, better than farming. By age 17, Häyhä was the most requested hunter in Rautjärvi. Farmers hired him to kill problem bears, bears that broke into grain stores, killed livestock. Dangerous work. Most hunters needed 5 to 6 shots to kill a bear, wounding it multiple times, making it angrier, more dangerous. Häyhä never needed more than 1 shot, because he learned the most critical hunting lesson. Patience is deadlier than speed. Rush the shot, wound the animal. Wound the animal, it kills you. Wait for the perfect shot. Kill instantly. In 1925, at age 20, Häyhä received his conscription notice, mandatory military service, 1 year. He reported to the Finnish Defense Forces in June 1925, assigned to the Bicycle Battalion, Mobile Light Infantry, They put him on a bicycle because he was small, 5 foot 3 inches, 150 pounds, light soldiers for rapid deployment. The army tested his marksmanship during basic training, standard qualification course, 150 meters, 5 shots. Standing position, Häyhä scored 50 out of 50. Perfect. They moved him to 300 meters. Prone position, 10 shots. Wind blowing 15 kilometers per hour. Häyhä scored 98 out of 100. The instructor was impressed. Have you trained as a marksman? No, sir. I hunt elk. We should train you properly. Send you to sniper school. Häyhä refused. Why not? The instructor asked. I want to go home and farm, sir. But you have natural talent. Talent doesn't plant potatoes, sir. The instructor couldn't argue with that. Häyhä completed his 1-year service in 1926, returned to Rautjärvi, resumed farming. For the next 13 years, Simo Häyhä was just a farmer. Planting, harvesting, hunting, nothing special, nothing remarkable, except for one thing. He never stopped practicing. 500 rounds per year, every year. Same rifle, same iron sights, same hunting grounds. By 1939, Häyhä had fired 6,500 rounds through that Mosin-Nagant. He knew that rifle like his own hands. Knew the barrel was 2 centimeters high at 100 meters when cold. Knew it drifted 5 centimeters left in crosswinds above 20 km range. Knew the trigger broke at exactly 3.2 pounds. Knew the bolt could cycle in 0 to 8 seconds if you practiced the movement 10,000 times. Knew bullet drop at every distance up to 400 meters. Not from ballistic tables, from experience, from 6,500 practice rounds, from 13 years of hunting, when November 30th, 1939 arrived, when the Soviet Union invaded Finland, when Stalin sent 450,000 soldiers against Finland's 300,000, when the Red Army brought 2,000 tanks and 1,000 aircraft, when military analysts predicted Finland would collapse in 2 weeks. Simo Häyhä received his mobilization order. Report to 34th Infantry Regiment, Kola River Sector. He packed his personal Mosin-Nagant, not the issued rifle, 400 rounds of ammunition, white winter clothing, a bed sheet torn into strips for camouflage. His commanding officer met him at the assembly point, Captain Arna Juutilainen, veteran of the Finnish Civil War, hard man, not impressed easily. Häyhä, where's your issued rifle? I brought my own, sir. Why? I've shot 6,500 rounds through this one, sir. I know where it shoots. Juutilainen looked at the ancient Mosin-Nagant, then at the small farmer holding it. Do you have any combat experience? I hunt elk, sir. This isn't hunting. Häyhä met his eyes calmly. What's the difference, sir? Elk don't shoot back. Neither do Russians if you kill them first. Juutilainen smiled for the first time. What's your effective range? 400 meters, sir, in good conditions. How many rounds do you need per kill? 1, sir. Every time? Every time. Juutilainen assigned Häyhä to a forward observation post, Kola River line, where Soviet attacks were heaviest, where Finnish casualties were highest, where they needed every rifle that could shoot straight. How many Russians do you think you can kill? Juutilainen asked. Häyhä considered the question seriously. As many as come within 400 meters, sir. That could be thousands. Then thousands, sir. Juutilainen thought the farmer was naive, overconfident, would probably die in the first week. He was wrong. In the next 100 days, Simo Häyhä would kill 505 Soviet soldiers, more than any sniper in history, more than all the trained snipers in the Finnish army combined. Because Häyhä understood what the military forgot, marksmanship isn't about training, it's about practice. 10,000 hours, 6,500 rounds, 13 years. When war came, Häyhä didn't need training, he just executed, perfectly, repeatedly, like harvesting grain, like slaughtering livestock, like hunting elk, 1 shot, 1 kill, every time. December 3rd, 1939, first day of combat for Simo Häyhä, 5:30 a.m., Temperature minus 35 Celsius. He's in position before dawn. A shallow depression in the snow. 30 meters behind the main Finnish trench line. Elevation gives him clear sight lines. Distance provides safety from Soviet artillery. He specs snow around his position. Built low walls that blend with the terrain. Covered himself with strips of white bedsheet. Wrapped his rifle barrel in white cloth. Against the snow, he's invisible. Professional camouflage from a farmer who hunted in winter for 26 years. At 6:15 a.m., Soviet artillery begins. 120 mm howitzers. The first shells land 100 meters forward, walking fire toward Finnish positions. The ground shakes, trees explode into splinters, snow erupts in massive geysers. Each impact creates a crater 4 meters wide. Most soldiers would be terrified. Häyhä is calm, because this is like a summer thunderstorm, loud, violent, dangerous if you're standing in the open, but if you're dug in, you wait it out. The barrage lifts at 6:45 a.m., exactly 30 minutes. Soviet doctrine, predictable. Now comes the infantry. 2 Soviet companies advance. 240 men, spread across 400 meters. They're wearing brown uniforms, standard Red Army issue. Against white snow, they are perfect targets, like brown elk against white birch trees. Häyhä picks his first target. Distance 150 meters. Soviet soldier carrying a DP-28 machine gun. Priority target, heavy weapons first. Wind 8 meters per second from right to left. Temperature minus 35 Celsius. Cold air increases bullet drop. Häyhä calculates corrections automatically. Muscle memory from 6,500 practice rounds. Aim 15 centimeters right for wind drift. Aim 8 centimeters high for temperature effect. His breathing slows. 1 breath every 90 seconds. Heart rate drops to 40 BPM. At the bottom of his exhale, he squeezes. The trigger breaks at 3.2 pounds. The rifle fires. Recoil 17 foot-pounds. Häyhä's shoulder absorbs it without movement. Practice 6,500 times. The 150-grain bullet flies at 2,600 feet per second. Flight time 0.19 seconds. The Soviet machine gunner never hears the shot. The bullet enters his chest. Left side. Penetrates 4 centimeters of winter clothing. Breaks 2 ribs. Tumbles through his left lung. Exits through his back, taking a 6-centimeter chunk of lung with it. The man drops the machine gun. His hands clutch his chest. Blood pours from the exit wound. Bright red. Oxygenated. Arterial. He's drowning in his own blood. Suffocating internally. His legs give out. He falls face first. Slides 2 meters down the snow slope. Leaves a red trail. Dead in 45 seconds. Häyhä has already cycled the bolt. Smooth. Practiced 6,500 times. 0.8 seconds. New round chambered. Second target acquired. Soviet officer, 160 meters, pointing at the Finnish positions, giving orders. Häyhä fires. The bullet enters the officer's neck, severs his carotid artery, breaks his C4 vertebra, blood jets from his neck. Arterial spray. 68 beats per minute. Each pulse shoots blood 2 meters. Painting the snow. Painting nearby soldiers. The officer tries to scream. Can't. His severed spinal cord has paralyzed his vocal cords. He collapses, twitching, bleeding, dead in 30 seconds. The Soviet advance continues, because they haven't realized men are dying. In the chaos of advancing under artillery, casualties are expected. They assume the 2 men tripped, fell, were wounded by artillery fragments. Häyhä fires his 3rd shot. Soviet soldier at 180 meters, carrying a radio pack, communications officer, priority target. The bullet enters between his shoulder blades, travels through his torso, destroys his heart, exits through his sternum, taking a fist-sized chunk of chest with it. The man is dead before his brain registers the impact. His body runs 3 more steps. Neural signals that haven't realized there's no heartbeat, then collapses mid-stride. The radio pack shatters when he hits the ground. Vacuum tubes explode. Company-level communications are severed. Now the Soviets notice. 3 men down in 45 seconds. All in the same area. Officer screaming orders. Sniper! Take cover! The advance stops. 240 men hit the ground simultaneously. Return fire erupts. Random shooting. Hundreds of rounds fired at nothing, at shadows, at suspected positions that are wrong. Because Häyhä is not where they think. He's 90 meters to their left flank, in a position they already advanced past, ignored, dismissed. He continues shooting, methodical, calm. One shot every 15 seconds, each one a kill. Soviet soldier at 145 meters, shot through the head, instant death. Soviet soldier at 190 meters, shot through the abdomen. Liver destroyed, bleeding internally, dead in 4 minutes. Soviet soldier at 160 meters, shot through the throat, drowning in blood, dead in 90 seconds. Soviet soldier at 175 meters, shot through the spine, paralyzed, will freeze to death. By 7:30 a.m., Häyhä has fired 25 rounds, 25 dead Soviet soldiers, 100% accuracy. The Soviet advance has stalled completely. 240 men pinned down by one farmer with a rifle. But Häyhä wasn't trying to stop the entire advance. He was targeting key personnel. Officers first, kill the brain. Radio operators, kill communications. Machine gunners, kill heavy weapons. Medics, kill hope. Kill the right 5 men and 50 men become ineffective. Kill the right 25 men and 240 men become paralyzed, which is exactly what happened. At 8 a.m. the Soviet company commander orders retreat, not because they are losing, because nobody will stand up. The men refuse to advance, refuse to expose themselves, paralyzed by invisible death. They retreat, leaving 37 dead in the snow, 25 killed by Häyhä, 12 by other Finnish soldiers. Häyhä's commanding officer, Captain Utilainen, finds him at 9 a.m. still in position, rifle still warm, snow around his position disturbed by 25 ejected brass casings. Häyhä, how many did you hit? 25, sir. Utilainen stares at him. 25? In 1 hour? Yes, sir. You're certain? I counted my shots, sir. 25 rounds fired, 25 hits. How do you know they were all kills? I only shoot when I'm certain, sir. Like hunting elk. Utilainen doesn't believe him. Until they recover the bodies that afternoon. 25 Soviet soldiers. All shot in the head or upper chest. All within a 200-meter radius. All from angles suggesting a single shooting position. Medical examination shows 17 headshots, instant death. 6 upper chest shots, died within 2 minutes. 2 abdominal shots, died within 10 minutes. 100% kill rate. No wounded, no survivors, just deaths. That night, Captain Utilainen calls Häyhä to headquarters. Colonel Valonitila wants to meet the farmer who killed 25 Russians. Private Häyhä, I'm promoting you to corporal. Thank you, sir. I'm also assigning you to independent operations. What does that mean, sir? It means you hunt however you want. No squad assignments, no set positions, no restrictions. Just kill Russians. Häyhä nods. How many should I kill, sir? Colonel Nitila looks at this small farmer, asking calmly how many men to kill, like asking how many potatoes to harvest. As many as you can, corporal. I'll do my best, sir. Over the next 98 days, Häyhä will exceed everyone's expectations, because as many as you can for Simo Häyhä means 480 more Soviet soldiers, for a total of 505 confirmed kills. The deadliest sniper in history. December 1939 through February 1940. 98 days of continuous combat. Häyhä develops a hunting system, not tactics, not strategy. A system, like farming, like elk hunting. Repeatable, methodical, efficient, deadly. Step 1. Position selection. The hide. Häyhä never shoots from obvious positions, not hilltops, too exposed, not tree lines, too predictable, not behind obvious cover, first place enemies check. He shoots from positions the enemy already searched, already cleared, already marked safe. His favorite technique, arrive at position before dawn, 4 a.m., in complete darkness, dig a shallow depression in the snow, 30 centimeters deep, just enough for his body. Pack the removed snow into low walls, blend them with surrounding terrain. Cover himself with white bedsheet strips. Wrap his rifle in white cloth. Pack snow over his legs. Leave only eyes and rifle exposed. Against white snow, he's invisible at 10 meters. Soviet patrols walk within 5 meters. Never see him. Because humans see contrast, not objects. Brown against white, invisible. White against white, bigger, invisible. Professional concealment from 26 years hunting elk in snow. Step 2. Waiting. Patience kills. Häyhä never shoots immediately, even when perfect targets appear. He waits, sometimes 2 hours, sometimes 4 hours, once for 7 hours, motionless, watching, learning patterns, where officers gather, where radio operators work, where machine gun positions are, where supply routes run, where medics treat wounded. The longer you watch, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more efficiently you kill. Example, December 8, 1939. Häyhä arrives at position 4:30 a.m. Soviet patrol passes at 6:00 a.m. 42 men, perfect targets. Häyhä doesn't shoot. He watches. The patrol returns at 8 a.m. same route, predictable. Häyhä still doesn't shoot. He's learning the pattern. At 10 a.m. a Soviet officer and radio operator walk the same route, alone, confident it's been cleared twice. Now Häyhä shoots. 2 shots, 2 kills. Officer dead, radio operator dead. Company level communications severed. Patrol patterns disrupted. Häyhä disappears before the bodies are found. 2 kills with maximum tactical impact. Better than killing 10 random soldiers. Patience multiplies effect. Step 3. Target prioritization. Kill the brain. Häyhä never shoots randomly. Every target is chosen for maximum impact. Priority list. Priority 1. Officers. Kill the brain. Entire unit loses direction. Attack stall retreats become routes. Priority 2. Radio operators. Kill communications. Units can't coordinate. Can't call for support. Can report positions. Become isolated and vulnerable. Priority 3. Machine gunners. Kill heavy firepower. Remove suppressing fire. Finnish attacks become easier. Soviet defenses weaken. Priority 4. Medics kill hope. Wounded can't be saved. Morale collapses. Soldiers become terrified of being wounded. Priority 5. Scouts forward observers. Kill intelligence gathering. Enemy becomes blind. Can't spot Finnish positions. Artillery becomes ineffective. Priority 6. Regular soldiers. Last resort only. Lays tactical value, but creates general fare. Example of a prioritization. December the 12th, 1939. Soviet company advances. 180 men. Häyhä has 20 rounds. Could kill 20 random soldiers. Instead targets 3 officers, 2 radio operators, 4 machine gunners, 2 medics, 11 kills. Result, company loses all leadership communications severed. Heavy weapons. Silent wounded can be evacuated. Entire company retreats, 11 kills. Neutralizes 180 men. 10 X-force multiplication. Step 4. Shot discipline. Perfect conditions only. Häyhä only shoots under perfect conditions. If conditions aren't perfect, he doesn't shoot. He waits, sometimes for days. Required conditions, temperature, above -45 Celsius. Below -45, rifle accuracy fails. Metal becomes brittle powder. Combustion inconsistent. Bullet trajectory, unpredictable wind. Below 12 meters per second. Above 12 ms, wind drift exceeds compensation range. At 200 meters, 15 mils wind creates 40 cm drift. Miss becomes likely, wasted ammunition, position revealed for no kill. Target stationary or predictably moving. Moving targets require lead calculation. Lead calculation has error margin. Error margin matters. Possible miss only shoot moving targets if movement is perfectly predictable. Range under 400 meters. Iron sights effective to 400 meters. Beyond 400 meters, target becomes blurry. Bullet drop increases exponentially. When defect multiplies. Success rate drops below 80%. Visibility. Clear line of sight. No shooting through brush. No shooting through fog. No shooting in blizzard conditions. Bullet deflection possible miss becomes likely. If any condition fails, Häyhä doesn't shoot. He waits. Example, December 15th, 1939. Perfect target. Soviet colonel, clearly visible. 150 meters. But wind is 14 ms. Häyhä watches him for 40 minutes. Never fires. The colonel leaves. Other soldiers would have taken the shot. Risk the miss. Häyhä understands. One missed shot reveals your position, reveals you're patient, reveals you're disciplined, reveals you're dangerous. Better to wait for perfect conditions than risk imperfect shot. 2 days later, the same colonel returns. Wind, 5 ms. Temperature, minus 30 C. Range, 145 meters. Target, stationary. Perfect conditions. Häyhä fires. One shot. Through the colonel's brain. Patience rewarded. Häyhä's fundamental rule, if you shoot, the target dies. If the target doesn't die, you didn't shoot correctly. This isn't bravado. This is survival mathematics. First shot, enemy doesn't know where you are. Second shot, enemy knows your general direction. Third shot, enemy knows your exact position. Fourth shot, you're dead. Therefore, one shot must be enough. Häyhä achieves this through perfect preparation. Range estimation, practiced on hunting grounds for 13 years, can estimate range within 5 meters by eye. Confirmed by observing target size through sights. Error margin 2 to 3% of wind reading. Watch snow movement. Feel wind on face. Observe a branch movement. Calculate drift compensation automatically. Muscle memory from 6,500 practice rounds. Temperature compensation. Cold air. Jarczy denser air. More bullet drop. Minus 10 C. Referee centimeter high at 200 meters. Minus 20 C. 6 centimeter high at 200 meters. Minus 30 C. 10 centimeter high at 200 meters. Minus 40 C. 50 centimeter high at 200 meters. Automatic calculation from 13 years hunting experience. Bullet placement, headshot, vertical instant death, 100%. Upper chest, breakshot death within 2 minutes, 95%. Lower chest, breakshot death within 10 minutes, 80%. Abdomen, breakshot death within 30 minutes, 60%. Limbs, wounded, not dead, wasted shot. Häyhä aims for head or upper chest only. Never takes marginal shots. Never wounds when he can kill. Result, 505 kills, 0 wounded. 100% kill rate. After shooting, Häyhä doesn't run, doesn't move. Stays in position, 30 minutes to 2 hours, motionless, because the enemy expects the sniper to flee. They search escape routes, check tree lines, look for movement. They never search the position where the shot came from, because nobody would stay there. It's suicide, except it's not, because the safest place is where they already looked. Häyhä waits until enemy search parties pass his position, enemy marks area as cleared, enemy focuses on wrong locations, activity dies down. Then he moves, slowly, carefully, belly crawling through snow. 5 meters per minute, takes 40 minutes to move 200 meters. But he's never caught, never compromised, never identified. The system works, December through February, 98 days, 480 more kills, 505 total, 5.50 billion kills per day, every single day, for over 3 months, using the same system, the same methodology, the same discipline, like farming, like hunting, like harvesting grain, methodical, repeatable, perfect. January 1940. The White Death's greatest weapon isn't his rifle, it's fear. Soviet soldiers develop a psychological condition. Soviet military doctors call it sniper neurosis. Finnish doctors call it Häyhä syndrome. Modern psychology would call it acute combat stress reaction. The symptoms: inability to stand upright, panic attacks when exposed, refusal to leave cover, paranoid delusions of being watched, hallucinations of crosshairs on their body, nervous breakdowns requiring evacuation. Soviet medical officers document 4,172 cases. 4,372 soldiers psychologically destroyed, not by combat, by one sniper, by the knowledge that the White Death is hunting. The invisible killer effect. Human psychology is evolved for visible threats, lions, bears, enemy soldiers you can see, threats you can fight or run from, but an enemy you can't see, Can't hear, can't fight, can't escape. That breaks human minds. Soviet soldier testimony. Interrogation, January 15th, 1940. We know he's there, somewhere, watching. We can feel his eyes on us, but we never see him. Mikhail stood up to urinate. His head exploded. No sound, no warning, just dead. We couldn't find where the shot came from. We searched for 2 hours, found nothing. How do you fight a ghost? The terror spreads through multiple mechanisms. Mechanism 1. Random selection. Häyhä doesn't follow predictable patterns. Sometimes kills officers, sometimes regular soldiers, sometimes medics, sometimes radio operators. No pattern, no way to predict, no way to be safe. Anyone could be next. This is how you induce mass psychological trauma, because humans can handle danger if it's predictable, can't handle random death. Mechanism 2. Violated safe zones. Soldiers establish mental safe zones, areas where they feel protected, behind trenches, in bunkers, far from the front line. These zones are psychological necessities. Without them, soldiers can't function. Häyhä systematically violated safe zones, killed soldiers behind supposedly secure cover, killed them in rear positions, killed them during safe times of day, destroyed the psychological foundation soldiers need. Soviet testimony, January 22nd, 1940. He killed Yuri while Yuri was in the latrine, 300 meters behind our lines. We thought that was safe. If the latrine isn't safe, where is? If 300 meters back isn't safe, how far do we need to go? We can't fight if nowhere is safe. Mechanism 3. Death of leaders. Häyhä prioritize officer kills. Officers are psychological anchors. They provide direction, confidence, authority, reassurance, leadership. When officers die, units lose cohesion. Men lose confidence. Command structure collapses. Häyhä killed 76 Soviet officers. Each death created ripple effects. One dead lieutenant butchered 40 disorganized soldiers. One dead captain became 120 rudderless men. One dead colonel delivered 1,200 demoralized troops. 76 dead officers. Below 8,500 psychologically impacted soldiers. Force multiplication through targeted killing. Mechanism 4. The growing legend. Stories about the White Death spread, exaggerated, mythologized, amplified. Soviet soldiers claimed Häyhä could shoot accurately at 1,000 meters. He couldn't. See in complete darkness. He couldn't. Hit moving targets at 500 meters. He couldn't. Shoot through trees. He couldn't. Know when they were thinking about him. He couldn't. Be in multiple places simultaneously. He couldn't. None of these were true. But the myths made him more terrifying than reality. Made him supernatural. Impossible to fight. Impossible to hide from. Impossible to survive. Soviet command tried to counter the propaganda. Issued bulletins. The so-called White Death is military propaganda. Finnish psychological operation. Multiple snipers using same tactics. Not one man. Do not believe enemy propaganda. Soviet soldiers didn't believe command. Because they'd seen the bodies. All killed the same way. Same shot placement. Same angles. Same methodology. One sniper. One ghost. One death sentence. Intercepted Soviet radio traffic. These are actual intercepted transmissions, translated from Russian, January 1940, January 2nd, 8:47 a.m. Soviet officer, 3rd Company, advanced to grid 334. Soviet captain, negative sir, the White Death operates in that sector. Officer, that's an order, captain. Captain, I refuse to send my men to die for nothing. Officer, you will face court-martial. Captain, better a court-martial than meeting the White Death, sir. January 10th, 6:23 p.m. Soviet soldier. I saw him. I swear I saw him. Soviet radio operator. Saw who? Soldier. The White Death. He was 50 meters away, looking at me. Operator. If you saw him, you'd be dead. Soldier. Maybe I am dead. Maybe we're all dead already. Maybe this is hell. January 18th, 3:15 a.m. Soviet lieutenant. All units prepare to advance at dawn. Soviet sergeant. Sir, the men refuse. Lieutenant, refuse what? Sergeant, to advance. They say the White Death hunts at dawn. Lieutenant, that's superstition. Sergeant, with respect, sir, 300 men believe it. That makes it real. January 25th, 11:30 a.m. Soviet Captain, Command, we need immediate evacuation. Soviet Command, what are your casualties? Captain, no casualties, sir. Command, then why evacuation? Captain, the men won't fight anymore, they won't leave the bunkers, they're broken. Command, by what? Captain, by knowing he's out there, watching, waiting. They'd rather face your firing squad than face him. The measurable collapse. The psychological impact was quantifiable. Soviet 9th Army combat effectiveness, December 1st, 1939, 98% of units combat effective advance rate, 2.3 kilometers per day, casualty rate, 4% per engagement. January the 1st, 1940, 76% of units combat effective advance rate, 0.8 kilometer per day, casualty rate, 11% per engagement. 340 soldiers evacuated for psychological reasons. February 1st, 1940, 43% of units combat effective advance rate, 0 kilometer per day, no advances. Casualty rate, 19% per engagement. 1,847 soldiers evacuated for psychological reasons, 127 soldiers deserted, 89 soldiers self-inflicted wounds to avoid combat. One sniper destroyed an entire army's will to fight, not through killing everyone, through making everyone afraid. The breaking point, February 5th, 1940. Soviet 662nd Rifle Regiment, 2,400 men, ordered to assault Finnish positions, Kola sector, where Häyhä operates. The regiment mutinies. First mass mutiny in Soviet military history since 1917. 2,400 men refuse orders. Their commander, Colonel Yegorov, tries to restore discipline, threatens execution, threatens the Gulag. The soldiers don't care. Their response, recorded by NKVD observer: execute us if you want. We're dead anyway, but we won't walk into his crosshairs. We won't feed the White Death anymore. The mutiny is suppressed. 47 men executed, 180 sent to gulags. But the damage is done. The story spreads. Other units hear about it. Other soldiers start refusing orders. By February 15th, the Soviet 9th Army is combat ineffective, not defeated in battle, psychologically destroyed by one 5'3" farmer with one rifle and infinite patience. March 6, 1940, day 98 of combat. Häyhä has 505 confirmed kills. It's 7:15 a.m. Temperature -38 Celsius. He's in position since 4:30 a.m. Same system, same methodology, same discipline. A Soviet company advances. 180 men. He kills the forward scouts. Standard procedure, 2 shots, 2 kills. The company takes cover, returns fire randomly. Also standard, but today is different. The Soviets have finally learned. They brought close artillery support, 3 70mm divisional guns, not firing at random positions, firing systematically, walking the barrage across suspected sniper hides, methodically, professionally. This is new. This is dangerous. Shells start landing 200 meters away, then 180 meters, then 160 meters. They are working toward his position, grid by grid. Häyhä should move, should exfiltrate now, but there's a Soviet officer visible, giving orders, coordinating the artillery, priority target. If Häyhä kills him, the artillery coordination fails. He decides to take the shot, one more kill, then exfiltrate. He acquires the officer in his sights. Range 210 meters. Wind 6 ms. Perfect conditions. He exhales at the bottom of his breath, squeezes the trigger. The officer drops. Clean headshot. Kill Gibber 506. Häyhä works the bolt, chambering a new round. Then the world explodes. An explosive round hits a tree 12 meters away. Direct hit. The tree detonates. Splinters fly in all directions. Shrapnel, wood fragments, metal fragments from the shell casing. One piece of jagged metal hits Häyhä's face. Lower jaw, left side. The impact is catastrophic. The metal fragment enters his cheek, traveling at 900 feet per second, fragments his jawbone, severs his facial artery, takes half his lower jaw with it, destroys 8 teeth, partially severs his tongue, blows out his left cheek completely. Exit wound the size of a fist. Häyhä is unconscious immediately. Massive head trauma, bleeding catastrophically, blood pumping from the facial artery. 68 beats per minute. Each pulse jets 80 milliliters of blood into the snow, painting it crimson. His body is in shock. Blood pressure dropping, heart rate irregular, breathing shallow. Finnish soldiers find him 18 minutes later. Private Viljo Pentikainen sees him first. Medic! Medic! Corporal Martti Jalonen runs over, takes one look. He's dead. No one survives that. But Häyhä is still breathing, barely. Bubbles of blood forming at his nose. Jalonen checks his pulse. Weak, thready, but present. Get a stretcher, now! They evacuate him. 6 men carrying the stretcher, running through the forest, under sporadic artillery fire. 6 kilometers to the aid station. Takes 47 minutes. Häyhä unconscious the entire time. Blood soaking through 4 bandages. Dr. Pekka Tuominen examines him at the aid station. The wound is catastrophic. Half the lower jaw is gone, left cheek destroyed, tongue partially severed, facial artery bleeding. He won't survive the next hour, Dr. Tuominen says. Get him comfortable. That's all we can do. But Häyhä's heart keeps beating. His lungs keep working. Hour 1, still alive. Hour 2, still alive. Hour 6, still alive. Hour 12, still alive. Dr. Tuominen performs emergency surgery. No anesthesia available. Häyhä is unconscious anyway. The doctor clamps the facial artery, removes bone fragments, reconstructs what's left of the jaw with wire, stitches the tongue, closes the cheek wound. It takes 4 hours. The doctor uses 237 stitches. He'll probably die from infection, Dr. Tuominen notes. The wound is too severe. Too much contamination. Too much tissue damage. Day 2. Häyhä develops fever. 41.2 Celsius. Infection setting in. Predicted, expected, fatal. Day 3. Fever breaks. 38.7 Celsius. Unexpected, unexplained. Day 5. Häyhä wakes up. Can't speak. Jaw wired shut. Tongue damaged. But conscious. Aware. Alive. Dr. Tuominen has no explanation. He should be dead. The wound is incompatible with survival, but he's alive. I don't understand it. March 13th, 1940. Day 7 after wounding. The Winter War ends. Finland and Soviet Union sign the Moscow Peace Treaty. Finland surrenders 11% of territory, but remains independent. The Soviet Union wanted total occupation. Finland's surrender. Finland's absorption into the USSR. They failed. Because of soldiers like Simo Häyhä, because Stalin sent 450,000 soldiers and couldn't break 300,000 Finns, because the Red Army had every advantage and still couldn't win. The final casualties: Soviet Union, 126,875 dead, 264,908 wounded, 5,600 captured, 2,268 tanks destroyed, 961 aircraft destroyed. Finland, 25,904 dead, 43,557 wounded, 1,000 captured, 30 tanks destroyed, 62 aircraft destroyed. Kill ratio 5-1 in Finland's favor. Despite being outnumbered, despite having inferior equipment, despite fighting in their own country, Häyhä spends 14 months recovering. Multiple reconstructive surgeries. His face is permanently disfigured. Half his jaw is artificial titanium. Scars across his entire left side. Speaking is difficult. Eating solid food is difficult. But he's alive. When he can finally speak, journalists ask, "How did you survive?" Häyhä's answer: "I didn't think about surviving. I just woke up one day and I wasn't dead yet, so I kept not being dead. Eventually they called it surviving." Do you regret anything? Yes. I regret not being a better shot. I should have killed more. The journalists think he's joking. He's not. In his mind, 505 kills was inadequate. The Red Army sent 450,000 soldiers. He only stopped 0.1% of them. To a farmer who expects 100% efficiency, that's failure. April 1941. Häyhä returns to Rautjärvi. Same farm, same 250 acres, same rocky soil, like nothing happened. Except everything has changed. The Finnish government has awarded him the Mannerheim Cross, Finland's highest military honor, promotion to lieutenant, skipping several ranks, national recognition, international fame. Häyhä accepts them quietly, puts the medals in a drawer, goes back to plowing. Journalists come, asking for interviews, stories about the White Death, the legend, the ghost sniper. Häyhä refuses most. When he does speak, his answers are short. How did you become the deadliest sniper in history? Practice. What did you think about while killing 505 men? I tried not to think. Thinking slows you down. Did you feel remorse? They invaded my country. They killed my neighbors. Someone had to stop them. What was the key to your success? Same as successful farming: patience, discipline, repetition. Would you do it again? If Finland needed me, yes. The reporters want drama, want emotion, want the haunted veteran. The man destroyed by war. They don't get it. Häyhä is the same farmer he was before, quiet, practical, focused on work. The war didn't change him. It just interrupted his farming. Now the interruption is over. He lives to age 96, dies April 1st, 2002. 62 years after the war, 62 years of farming. The same farm, the same land, the same work. Like the war was a brief detour, not his defining moment. Just something that happened, something he dealt with, then moved past. His funeral is quiet, small, mostly farmers, a few veterans, some government officials. The Finnish president attends, gives a brief speech about national heroes. Häyhä would have hated it. He never wanted to be a hero, just a farmer who did what was necessary. Then went back to farming. His gravestone is simple. Simo Häyhä, 1905-2002 farmer. No mention of kills, no mention of war, no mention of the White Death, just farmer. Because that's who he was. A farmer who was very, very good at one specific skill, and when his country needed that skill, he provided it. Perfectly, efficiently, 505 times. Then went back to farming. Section 8. The legacy. What one man proved. 800-900 words. The White Death changed modern warfare, not through tactics, through proof of concept. One man with perfect preparation can defeat an army. Every military in the world studied Häyhä's methods, created sniper schools based on his principles. Principle 1, patience over speed. Modern snipers learn to wait hours, days, weeks for the perfect shot, because one perfect shot is worth 100 rushed ones. U.S. Army Sniper School. Häyhä waited 7 hours for one shot. That shot killed a colonel and stopped an entire regiment. Learn to wait. Principle 2. Systematic over heroic. Modern snipers follow systems, repeatable processes, not improvisation, not heroics. Methodical execution, like Häyhä's hunting system. Principle 3. Psychological over physical. Modern snipers prioritize psychological impact. Kill the officer, kill the radio operator, create maximum fear with minimum rounds. Force multiplication through terror. Principle 4. Perfect over prolific. Modern snipers emphasize quality over quantity. One confirmed kill is better than 10 possible kills. 100% accuracy is the goal. Like Häyhä, 505 shots, 505 kills, 0 wounded. The statistics still stand. All-time sniper kill rankings: Simo Häyhä, Finland. 505 confirmed Fyodor Oklopkov, USSR. 429 confirmed Simo Häyhä, Finland. 505 confirmed Vasily Zaitsev, USSR. 225 confirmed Lyudmila Pavlichenko, USSR. 309 confirmed Mateusz Hetzenauer, Germany. 345 confirmed Carlos Hadcock, USA. 93 confirmed Chris Kyle, USA. 160 confirmed Häyhä is number 1 by a massive margin in only 100 days of combat. The lesson isn't be tough. The lesson isn't be brave. The lesson is master your craft so completely that execution becomes automatic. Häyhä had 10,000 hours before the war started, 13 years of hunting, 6,500 practice rounds. When war came, he didn't need training, didn't need courage, just executed, automatically, perfectly, 505 times. This is the truth the military establishment resists. Training can replace experience. Talent can replace practice. Technology can replace mastery. Häyhä proved it. With iron sights, in minus 40-degree cold, against an army 150 times larger, one farmer, one rifle, one perfect system, beat 450,000 soldiers, because he'd done the work, every day, for 13 years. When the moment came, he was ready, not through luck, not through heroism, through preparation, perfect preparation. That's the real story of the White Death. This isn't a story about killing, it's a story about mastery. Simo Häyhä never wanted to be a soldier, never wanted to kill anyone, never wanted to be famous. He wanted to farm, but he practiced his craft every day for 13 years, 6,500 rounds, 10,000 hours. When his country needed him, he was ready. Not because he tried to be ready, because he'd done the work. The work nobody sees, the work nobody celebrates, the boring, repetitive work. Practice, day after day, year after year. When crisis came, he didn't rise to the occasion. He fell to his level of training, and his level of training was 505 kills. That's the lesson. Not be tough. Toughness fades. Not be brave. Bravery is temporary. But practice until you can't fail. Master your craft so completely that execution is automatic. Then when crisis comes, you don't need courage. You don't need luck. You just execute. Like Simo Häyhä, the farmer who became deaf, then went back to farming, because killing 505 Soviet soldiers was just a temporary interruption. The farming was the life. The killing was just the crisis. Handle the crisis. Return to the work. That's the real story of the White Death.